is after this is Scientology event, and I just wanted to ask you some questions. So, what happened before the event? Before you got here, what difficulties did you have with Scientology just related to the event, when you heard of it and when you came here?
Well, we had no difficulties in Los Angeles,
okay,
except for Jason.
Okay.
Jason's wife, 3 in the morning, received a phone call from Tommy Davis, who you all know.
Yeah.
And Tommy wanted to talk with Jason. She didn't tell him until the next morning when we were at the airport.
Okay.
And Jason decided he wouldn't call Tommy because he knew exactly what Tommy wanted to talk about. And so we traveled to Los Angeles. And when we got here and got to the hotel where we were staying, the Inflator Hotel in Ursula's Inflator City, we noticed that several of the people who were on the plane were also at the hotel. Which by itself meant nothing. But after a while, when they are constantly near us all the time, we began to wonder. When we noticed these two men repeatedly, we began to obviously realize they were private investigators. The first morning we were here, we learned very early that at 3 in the morning, American Express allegedly had telephoned the hotel and ascertained the room numbers of Mark and Jason's rooms. So we had to all change our rooms immediately for fear that they were going to access the rooms while we were away. When we had our meeting at the trade union hall, there were demonstrators outside from Scientology, and inside, well, let me back up a little. We also learned that morning that David Miscavige had sent his own delegation to Hamburg from the US. David Miscavige had sent Monique Yingling, who is one of his top tax lawyers from Washington, and had sent Bill Walsh, who is another top Scientology tax lawyer from Washington, along with Hendrik Moxon, who is the lead attorney from within OSA, and also Tommy Davis and Kristen Rodriguez, who until recently at least has been babysitting, shall we say, Katie Holmes, her children. Is there a difference?
Maybe.
And they had a job to do apparently, and that was to stop the Congress. And they went to court. And here is more cake, so we have to stop for more cake. Before we had this delicious cake, I was talking about changing rooms. And we changed rooms. And we learned the real reason why DM had sent his delegation, and that was to try and shut down the Congress altogether. He had lawyers in Munich go to the court of Munich to try and prevent the conference from happening, or for them to have access to the panel as well. Miscavige's lawyers convinced the court that that shouldn't happen, because they had already known for 4 or 5 weeks that it was going to happen, and if they had wanted to attend, they could have sent a letter then and made their reservations. By the time they had decided to do it, it was too late and it was sold out. So there was no room at the inn for Scientology. So they had an epic fail at that. So we started the Congress, and they were protesting outside, and they also once again tried to come inside. The head of OSA in Germany, came in, and so did Moxon, and they still couldn't get access. Mr. Moxon approached two of the employees at the working group on Scientology. He demanded their passports, he demanded their identification, because Mr. Moxon was going to sue them. For some reason, Mr. Moxon, the Los Angeles lawyer, thinks he can come to Hamburg, to Inflated City, and demand identification and passports and file lawsuits. But they said no, and he had to go away. And so, both in the courts and at the Congress, VM and his delegation had an epic fail and went home empty-handed for lower ethics conditions and